Good morning, everyone. Today we are starting with a new chapter of civics, chapter number 30, the judiciary. In this chapter, we are going to study about the importance and need of judiciary, along with the Supreme Court and its powers and its functions. Okay, so basically, we will study about our judicial system of India, how it works, what are its powers and its functions, what are the qualifications are required to be the judge in the Supreme Court or the High Court. Okay, so without any delay, let's begin with the class. Need and importance of judiciary. Courts. Why do we need courts? To get the justice? Because they settles the disputes and punishes the guilty. Whosoever has done the crime or has broken the laws, they punishes them. And they can even declare any law passed by the central or the state government as unconstitutional. This power is in the hands of Supreme Court, that it can declare any law. If they find that law is is against the Constitution of India, then they can declare it as an unconstitutional, and this process is called the judicial review. They uphold the law and protect the fundamental rights of the citizens. They even try that uh, nobody can take away the fundamental rights from any citizen. They advise the president or the governors on the matters of law. Okay, now the next one is the structure of courts in India. Now, if we talk about the structure of the courts, the highest court in India is the Supreme Court. After that, High Court, then the District Court, that is the state courts, and then the subordinate courts. Okay. Now, the work of the Supreme Court, its decisions are binding on all courts. वो कुछ भी decision ले ले, each and every court has to follow it. Can transfer judges of high courts, can move cases from any court to itself, can transfer cases from one high court to another. Now, the High Court can hear appeals from lower courts, can issue rights for restoring fundamental rights, can deal with the cases within the jurisdiction of the state, then exercises superintendent and control over courts below it. जो हमारी हायर अथॉरिटी होगा वो हम पे कंट्रोल कर सकता है. लाइक सुप्रीम कोर्ट कैन कंट्रोल हाई कोर्ट एंड हाई कोर्ट कैन कंट्रोल district court, subordinate courts. Okay, Supreme Court can control all the other courts. Then the district courts deals with cases arising in the district, considers appeals on decisions given by lower courts, then decides cases involving serious criminal offences. Now the subordinate courts, they consider cases of civil and criminal nature. Okay, now we'll study the Supreme Court of India in detail. Supreme Court of India, its composition consists of Chief Justice and other judges. Other judges can be maximum in 30 numbers. President of India appoints the judges on advice of Chief Justice. So the President of India, he appoints the judges of the Supreme Court on the advice of Chief Justice. Now, before appointing the Chief Justice, President consults the judges of the Supreme Court and the judges of the and the justice of the High Court. Okay. Now the qualifications needed to be the judge or the Chief Justice. So should be citizen of India, have worked as a judge in any high court but not less than 5 years, or he can be advocate of a high court for 10 years at least. Advocate, a lawyer in the high court, but at least for 10 years, or be an author of renowned book on law. बहुत ही famous and renowned known book उन्होंने लिखी हो law के ऊपर. He should be a renowned author. Now the terms of office. Terms of office means period of office for how much period of time they are appointed to work till they attain 65 years of age. Services cannot be terminated by president. President can appoint them but cannot dismiss them or can remove from their job, okay, or from their post. If they want to leave the job, the judges can resign on their own to terminate their service. Okay. Now the next one is powers and functions of the Supreme Court. Original jurisdiction. Now, the cases which are brought directly to the Supreme Court are original jurisdiction. Now, what type of cases they are? Disputes between union and state government or between the state government. किसी भी सेंट्रल या स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के बीच में कोई डिस्प्यूट है, उस तरह के केसेस डायरेक्टली सुप्रीम कोर्ट जा सकते हैं, और either between any of the state's government or the state government having any dispute, it can be taken directly to the Supreme Court. Then the violation of constitution by government or individual. If government has broken any law of the constitution or any leader, then the case will be in the Supreme Court. Violation of fundamental rights. किसी का fundamental right उससे लिया गया है और break किया गया है, then the case will be in the Supreme Court directly. Next one is your appellate jurisdiction. Now, what is appellate? Appellate means to appeal. Now, the Supreme Court hears appeals against the judgments of the high courts. Suppose, for example, if any case is running in the High Court and the decision is given in the High Court which is not been accepted by any of the parties or both of the parties, we can say, then they can appeal in the Supreme Court. Then their case will be transferred in the Supreme Court. Then the advisory jurisdiction. Advisory jurisdiction is Supreme Court advises the president on legal matter and constitutional issues. Before making any law or passing any law, the president takes the advice of the Supreme Court that the law is within the constitution or not, or it is being made in keeping the mind of the fundamental rights of every citizen or not. Okay. Then the functions as the court of records. Court of records means whatever decision or the decrees issued by the Supreme Court or the files of the cases, all are being recorded in the Supreme Court. Decrees are the final decision. एक जो paper certificate we can say, the certificate which is issued by the Supreme Court on which the decision, the final decision about any of the case is being written, that is the decree. Okay. Now the next topic is your public interest litigation is a mechanism devised by the Supreme Court of India in early 1980s to increase access to justice. It was the system which was devised or issued by the Supreme Court of India so that they can give justice to the higher number of people who are in suffering, especially to the poor. Now, under this mechanism, any individual or organization is allowed to file a PIL in the High Court or the Supreme Court on behalf of those whose rights are being violated. Now, in this, it is not necessary or not compulsory that a person who is suffering can only file a PIL. Anyone can file a PIL, and any individual or any organization can file a PIL on a person's behalf who is suffering or whose fundamental rights are being violated. Now, even a letter addressed to the Supreme Court or the High Court can be treated as PIL. ये ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप वहाँ जाएं या रिटन में उनको कुछ दे. you can even send a letter regarding the PIL. Now, in the early years, PIL was used to secure justice on a large number of issues like rescuing bonded labor for inhuman work conditions and securing the release of prisoners in Bihar who had been kept in jail even after their punishment term was complete. तो अर्ली टाइम में जो ये सब प्रॉब्लम्स थी इन सब की वजह से PIL इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था सो दैट these people can be saved and rescued from the sufferings from which they suffered. Okay, now that's all for today. It's time for your homework. In today's homework you have to do question number 2 of exercise D. Question is, explain the main functions and powers of the Supreme Court of India. Answer, powers and functions. Number 1, original jurisdiction. Cases brought directly happens if disputes between union and state government or between state government. Violation of constitution by government or individual or violation of fundamental rights. Second is appellate jurisdiction. The Supreme Court hears appeals against the judgments of the high courts. Then the third one is your advisory jurisdiction. Advise the president on legal matters and constitutional issues. Next is question number 4. How do you think that the right to constitutional remedies is embodied in the idea of judicial review? Answer is, the right to constitutional remedies implies that every citizen is entitled to move the Supreme Court, any of the High Courts or any other court authorized by the Parliament for the purpose. If his or her fundamental rights are snatched away by the state, person or a body of persons. The right to constitutional remedies is the only guarantee against encroachment on our fundamental rights. The next question you have to do is question number 6. Do you agree with the view that public interest litigation is an important step in ensuring justice to all? Answer is yes, I agree with the view because under this any individual or organization is allowed to file a PIL in the High Court or the Supreme Court on behalf of those whose rights are being violated. So children, do your homework in a very neat writing. Please read the chapter and if you find any problem, please do ask me. So that's all for today. Thank you.